Hello and welcome to our English news coming to you from Canal, Algérie. First, the top stories of the news. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, held the regular media interview with the representatives of the national press, evoking several national, regional and international files. Algeria Foreign Affairs Minister calls for consolidating partnership between the UN Security Council and the Arab League while attending the interactive dialogue held by the two sides. And genocide goes on in Gaza with more atrocities, and the US President Donald Trump rejects the Zionist will to occupy the West Bank. Welcome once again. First in our news, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, held his regular media interview with the representatives of the national press, during which he evoked several national, regional and international files. More details on this meeting in the upcoming news bulletins. To another story now. Ahmed Attaf called on Friday for deepening partnership between the UN Security Council and the Arab League to better enhance peace and security in the Arab region. The statement was made during the interactive dialogue held between the two sides in New York within the framework of cooperation between the UN and regional organizations. Attaf stressed the necessity of the Security Council to step up coordination with the Arab League, especially in the face of the systematic aggression targeting Palestinians and the repeated attacks on the neighboring countries. On the sidelines of the UN General Assembly's high-level segments, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, met with the Senior Advisor to the US President for Africa, Masad Boulos. The meeting was an opportunity to review the growing momentum in Algerian-US relations, particularly regarding the multi-dimensional strategic dialogue between the two countries and the mutually beneficial economic partnership they are endeavoring to develop. Key regional issues of common interest were equally evoked during this meeting. Algeria attaches particular attention to the medical care and the citizens' health. That's the main point developed by the Labour and Social Security Minister Abdelhak Seyhi during the meeting devoted to prevention and psychological well-being held on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. Abdelhak Seyhi also highlighted the efforts being made in Algeria to develop the health system in the country by introducing new digital methods. Good news, the Algerian television was once again honored by the Arab States Broadcasting Union, or ASBU, as it claimed an award for the documentary film The Green Dream, directed by our colleague Linda Tiboul, as part of the 8th edition of the Arab Joint production with the participation of 4 ASBU members.
المدينة كان ما تكونش بالأشجار. بديت تقول لي مالا نبدا نغرس أنا. بديت نغرس مع أصحابي. خضرة بإذن الله.
Congratulations for our colleague. Algeria is moving beyond short-term trade deals with a clear push to expand export, diversify its economy and secure global credibility, backed by commitment to honor African trade agreement and an $11.4 billion export target. Melissa Lila Balaman reports.
This is more than short-term trade agreements. It is about building momentum and a clear vision to grow exports and shape a diversified, sustainable economy. Business, meanwhile, stressed the need to honor the deals concluded at the Intra-African Trade Fair as they push to widen their customer base and break out of traditional markets.
We have to be organized at every stage, before, during and after exports. This can't be a one-off effort. To be credible globally, we need consistency. We plan to make our mark on the world market. The support and incentives we've been given helps us promote Algerian products and reach new markets. The quality of Algerian goods has already proven they can compete across Africa.
To make this vision a reality, a strong support system is in place to clear obstacles and turn signed contracts into tangible results.
Our products should be in all 54 African countries while also reaching beyond the continent. My goal is for Algerian goods to have a strong presence worldwide. We're ready to back our operators to meet one clear objective: expand non-hydrocarbon exports. We'll stand alongside businesses on the ground. The biggest challenge now is delivering the projected $11.4 billion in exports. That's how we move forward and build trust with new partners.
Helping companies succeed in export markets is key to turning agreements into real economic gains, accelerating diversification, and ensuring Algerian products earn the global recognition they deserve.
We are still watching Canal Algérie. Coming up in our news. France is jolted by a severe multifaceted crisis amid calls by trade unions to stage a strike to curb with the government's austerity plan. Welcome back now to a set of international news. In Gaza, entire families are being wiped out as so-called safe zones turn into mass graves with limited tools. Rescuers pulled bodies from the rubble while airstrikes killed dozens in just 24 hours. Melissa Lila Balaman once again.
For hours, rescuers have been coming through the rubble with almost nothing to work with. Buried in the debris, they search for Hala, a young girl killed with 13 relatives when an airstrike leveled the Zoueda neighborhood in central Gaza.
We can see the child's body, just a glimpse of her hair. Young men are trying to pull her out, but we have no real tools.
The images are unbearable. Blood, bodies, ruins. What the Zionist army calls a safe zone is in reality a massacre site. In just one day, 62 Palestinians were killed in central and southern Gaza.
They claim this area is safe, yet we were hit by 2 Zionist strikes. 18 people died.
The despair never ends. Massacres repeat. Families are erased. This is no brief assault. It is a systematic war of extermination, a clear violation of international law and humanitarian conventions.
When family was entirely wiped out, the children's bodies lie next to their pregnant mother.
In Gaza, what collapses are not only homes, but an entire people condemned to erasure by a merciless entity.
Still with the Palestinian cause, still dominating discussions at the UN, and many warning that the Netanyahu's push for settlement expansion is reckless. The Zionist Prime Minister is furious. Melissa Kabash reports.
Benjamin Netanyahu is furious following the recognition of Palestine by France, the UK, Canada, Australia and many other nations. With more than 150 state members of the UN backing the Palestinian cause, Netanyahu, still in a state of fury, pledged to continue expanding colonization in occupied West Bank, while his allies are pressing for nothing less than full annexation. However, this ambition faces a significant obstacle. U.S. President Donald Trump has made it clear he will not permit such a move, but instead calls for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the liberation of hostages, and a governance without Hamas.
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this directly?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it. Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now.
Many observers see this as a desperate attempt to press ahead despite the ongoing genocide.
En réalité, ce ne sont pas des désaccords stratégiques sur leur...
In reality, these are not strategic disagreements over their shared intention to eliminate the Palestinian cause, but rather tactical disputes over how to achieve it. This resonates with the 21-point plan put forward by Trump on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, presented to several Arab regimes as part of a proposed reconstruction of Gaza, which remains the target of a genocidal operation. Within this plan, one of the conditions set by several regimes is maintaining the status quo on settlement expansion in the West Bank. Netanyahu's announcements, however, have disrupted and undermined Trump's proposal.
The presence of the Zionist prime minister has sparked widespread protests, showing both criticism and condemnation. His arrival comes at a time when he faces an arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court for war crimes. Beyond Netanyahu's legal status, the diplomatic clash over Palestine is now dominating the UN debate.
That's all about the Palestinian fight. To France now, the conviction of Nicolas Sarkozy to 5 years in prison over the Libyan financing scandal marks an unprecedented blow to France's Fifth Republic, shaking both its political class and public trust in the institutions. Melissa Lila Balaman has more details.
France's political scene, already rocked by internal turmoil, has just been hit with a thunderclap. Former President Nicolas Sarkozy was sentenced to 5 years in prison for criminal conspiracy over the Libyan financing of his 2007 campaign. Never before in the Fifth Republic has a former head of state experienced such a judicial humiliation. The Paris ruling marks a turning point. For the first time, an ex-Élysée leader faces real prison time. Though cleared of illegal campaign financing and corruption, the fallout remains explosive. His camp is furious. Sarkozy called the verdict a scandal, vowed to appeal, and denounced what he sees as relentless persecution. Supporters decry two-tier justice, and a republic tearing itself apart, an image that only deepens public distrust in the institutions. But this goes beyond Sarkozy. Suitcases of Libyan cash, clashing testimonies, and years of legal wrangling have left a lingering sense of rot. The question now is how far French democracy can be weakened by its own scandals. The case will be remembered as a symbol of a France shaken to its core, a dark chapter that raises doubts about how to restore credibility to a system that jails former presidents, yet fails to win back its citizens' trust.
Still in France, which is facing a mounting financial and political turmoil, with public debts reaching more than 3,400 billion euros, trade unions announcing their national strike starting from October the 2nd. Melissa Kabesh has the latest developments.
Between a swelling public deficit that weighs heavily on the nation's finances and a political crisis that weakens the country's institutions, with a public debt amounting to 34,000 billion euros, the French government struggles to deliver its own promises, unable to consolidate its foundations. On the ground, negotiations between executive and the unions have stalled, producing yet another deadlock. The result, a call for a nationwide strike on October the 2nd.
C'est donc une occasion manquée.
It is infuriating that 1 million people who mobilized, went on strike and demonstrated last week have received no clear response to their demands or concerns. That's why we are determined to continue the mobilization with October the 2nd strike.
La mobilisation avec cette date du 2 octobre.
Les comptes publics sont hors contrôle.
It must be clearly understood. For about 15 years, the growth of public expenditure has been spiraling, and the figures are staggering. The more you borrow to cover day-to-day public spending, the deeper you sink into debt. Today, French debt has reached alarming proportions.
France's budget deficit also exposed the deep fragility of institutions across several sectors, including the media France Télévisions.
It's time to put an end to this motion of no confidence, to bring down this government.
As France braces for another wave of strikes and economic pressure, the government now stands at a crossroad. The challenge: restore both stability and public trust.
That's the end of it. Keep tuning to our channel programs. Take care. Bye-bye for now.